Excuse me, something. Okay. Excuse me, is there anything else to discuss with me? Somebody have discussing. Lavanya Mansi, you please. So, right. So, in the previous session, we have discussed, sorry, how we can write variables, operators, decision making statements, and now we are working on loops, right? Okay, let me open. So far, it's clear to all of you what we have discussed. Could you please let me know, please, so that I can get a clarity. If you have any doubts, also, please let me know. Right. So, no doubts to anyone. It's getting clearly understanding to all of you, I guess, right? Right. So, the concept is now a set of statements that has to be repeated for a number of times when, until the condition gets failed. So, how it will be? That's right. One second, hold on. Okay. Where something a variable and that equals to something zero we have assigned, and we want to execute a statement or set of statements in the very beginning itself. That means when we have requirement that particular statements should execute, only the condition should pass. That means once the condition successfully passed, then only that output or the statements should execute. Otherwise, it should not execute. In that case, you can write while the condition maybe x less than 5 or whatever. If the condition is getting true, It is entering into the block document dot write the value of x. We are just printing that value. If you have written like this, what will be the output? 0 less than 5. It is true. It is entering into the block and displaying that state. Once it is coming to the closing curly braces, it is re-entering. That is what we can say the loop concept. In decision making statements, once it comes to the closing curly braces, it seems something that the block is totally completed and it will move down. But whereas at loops, it is reverting back again to the condition. Here, if you execute this, then 0 less than 5, 0 less than 5, 0 less than 5, and so on, so on. Finally, continuously it will be executing because of no failure at all. Right now, because of no failure at all with the condition. So it is called infinite loop. When you run this one, finally, somewhere else the browser will hang, and because of continuously executing, it's a part of processing continuously. So it will be problem. To make it somewhere else, it has to stop and it has to change its value for each and every time. That's why we are writing here the concept of what you can say incrementing operator. So 0 less than 5, the value of x that is displaying 0 x plus plus, which is adding 1 to the x, and then 1 less than 5 and so on, 2 less than 5, 3 less than 5, and so on, so on, like this. So that statements are like this. Here, as of now, we are displaying with the numbers, but steps further we will be working. I mean, when it comes to the point of we can retrieve the records, we can retrieve any type of data. Finally, a records can be have a group of statements of a particular person or a particular user records or particular product records, whatever it might be. So repeating a set of statements with different outputs is a point of we can say loop. And this is one based on the condition. It is entering into the block and giving its output. Okay. For example, if it is x equals to 5 and it is entering into the condition 5 less than 5. What is the meaning? In the very beginning itself, it failed. In the very beginning itself, it's failed. So we can say nothing else to execute. But at least we are expecting without any empty, sorry, without empty details, we are expecting at least for one time. For example, let us assume. Then how? If we are expecting at least for one time, then we can go with the concept of do while. Let's have it. Okay. So let me take another variable for something and then let me write here. These are the statements of while. So while statements. Then statement from t equals to 0 do without checking with the condition in the very beginning or for the first time. It is just entering into the block, the document.write. You can see do while value of then. And when it comes to the ending, at the closing place of curly brace, we can write a while t less than 5. So, okay, here also it will be displaying for 5 times, even though if the variable is 5, that is at least for first time or at least for one time, it will be executing that statement or statements. Then, if we observe in both cases, we have written the value of x, assigning, condition checking separately, and statements separately, and incrementing or decrementing separately. Maintaining n number of statements for a simple action part. For a simple or small thing, we are maintaining n number of statements, irrespective of the technology. Not only here, irrespective of the technology, what we have to think is to the maximum we need to reduce that statements so that it will be executed much faster. So meaning of this statement is what I am saying is there is another option to work with the concept of a loop which is called for loop, and there for let it be I or anything something, assigning the value 0 to the variable, and then that I less than 5 condition, and then incrementing operator. So assigning, condition checking, and incrementing or decrementing depends upon the requirement. Everything that's set in one line, and the statements, if that condition is getting true, then only it will enter into the block. So you can see for same, irrespective of the loop, finally we are getting same output. Okay, but the thing is depends upon the logic or requirement. If we require something, it has to pass the condition, then only it has to enter into the block. Then we say it is called while loop. Whereas at least for one time, if it required to execute, then do while and making something a set of statements to be less and execute for a number of times. You can say same for loop. Initialization, sorry, assigning condition. If the condition is true, then it is entering into the block. Then it is entering into the incrementing or decrementing. From that, it is again reverting back to the condition. So like this, it is going to be executed. This is the concept of loop, and we have one more thing which is called for loop that I will explain when we cross the concepts of something else. I mean of an array and few more things for each. When we come to the point of an array, we will discuss the concept of for each concept, which is unconditionally executing a set of statements. Okay, so now in comparing to the first point onwards, when we don't have a value, that is, we directly displaying the statements. But to make it something a proper way, the logics that has to be or the values that has to be saved and that can refer we entered into the variables to make it something an operational we have done with the concept of an operator something else to make it something clear a set of statements we have entered into the decision making statements and to repeat that statement we have entered into the what you can say loops. Okay, and now in all the cases so far what we have discussed a value is assigning to the variable. There is only one value, one variable. For example, if we want to maintain a group of values, category related, I mean, it's a particular category data that we want to maintain. Instead of maintaining separately, what you can say, instead of maintaining separately each and every value with each and every variable, we can maintain everything that in one variable. Meaning, for example, if we are working with the concept of, for example, users, let us assume. So, var user one, and that equals to something name. Var user two, that equals to. So, here we require to write n number of times. I mean, a number of lines, n number of values separately, and each value should save in the what you can say particular separate variable. Okay, about this thing, first point is number of lines are increasing. First point. Second point is even though the same concept that you are working of holding a number of users, but in the memory location, it is somewhere else it's saving. What I say we can't say exactly the user one location will be in the memory location of, for example, 01. Let us assume. We said that user two will be saved. We can't give guarantee. What I'm saying is, finally, a memory location of a server is not for just one application, is not for just one user entry like this. It is just taking the requirements according to the time schedules according to the 6 seconds also. If I am passing some value, some request, some output to save, then in the meanwhile you have sent a request that will be processed first. The overall concept is saving a group of values instead of separately in each and every memory location, referring with each and every separate variable to make it easier we are going to maintain a group of things that as we have discussed in the very beginning of HTML at the time of languages especially we have written a square bracket which is called an array that is what we are maintaining here holding a group of values users and that equals to the concept of an array let me write here an array is a variable which used to hold a set of different data type values. How with the square bracket representation and how these values will be referred. The values which are written in written in square bracket are accessed or else are referred through its index. What is the concept of index? Index is a unique index is a unique integer which starts from 0 to n minus 1. What is this total statement means? In the square bracket, as we say, it can have any data type value. There is no concept of only one particular data type values. Also, sorry, there is only one particular concept of, sorry, there is only one particular data type value should be saved in the array variable. It can have anything. Okay, for the first time here, as we are working with the concept of users, let me write a users that can be John, comma, each and every value that should be separated by comma. Smith, comma, Paul, comma. So like this, that you can write any number of values separated by comma. Okay, as of now, here we are maintaining all the values are related to string. Okay, and all values are saved in the users variable. And how it can be referred or how these values can be referred. First, let us do one thing. Document dot write users. Okay, see that output first. Is that, sorry, the overview itself I have done. Right. Then it is displaying all the values, whatever we have written in the users variable. But if we want a particular value that should be extracted, then how? So to extract that particular value from the array variable, then we require its index, which is referring uniquely from 0 to n minus 1, which is called when you have started a square bracket with first value, the default it is just setting 0. That is in the array variable 0, which is holding John, 1 equals to Smith, 2 equals to Paul, 3 equals to David. That is why I say the number of values are 4 values. a length of array variable is 4. We are saying that n and its index is 4 minus 1, 3. Because it's starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. So now if you want a particular output, a particular value, array variable name of that particular indexing number, when you have written exactly that particular value will be accessed or referred. But for each and every time, we are unable to write users of 1, users of 2, users of 10, something like this right now. We are unable to make it something for each and every time to make it n number of lines. So, as we know the concept of a loop, with the concept of a loop, we refer all the values at a time. The way which we can use is for I equals to 0, I less than how many values we have? 4 values. Then I plus plus. Here, okay, in this line, the same statement you have written hard code. That is directly the indexing number you have manually written right now. Then now array variable name of that I, because for each and every time 0, 0 less than, sorry, I equals 0, 0 less than 4, it is entering into the block where array variable name of 0 right now because I is holding. So that is first referring its value is on. And when it comes to this place, it is just entering into the incrementing and I plus plus 1 less than 4, 2 less than 4, 3 less than 4, and so on. So like this. You even can extract like this array variable name in the double quotations. Then array variable name of 0 right now. Array variable name of 0. That of course here you have observed in the double quotations is just a matter on it characters. So users of 0, users of 1, users of 2, exactly what we are expecting here. A group of values which are set in its index and we are referring that values through its statements. Okay. Then let me just explain one more example and we as we have discussed a data that can be sorry a values that can be differ. So this time let me write for example sorry product. That is we are going to maintain the concept of product. Write a square bracket. I want a product name, product price, sorry. Then status, for example, either it is an active or not active. So actually here we are especially working with the concept of index. So there is no concept of extracting its key and there is no concept of extracting its key and what you can say value. Meaning what I say is its key is especially in terms of zero, sorry, its keys is especially in terms of indexing. Then Let us write here. For I equals 0 or anything and I less than 3, okay, and I plus plus. Copy the same, but here we are writing product. Product of, then product of. Okay, we have an option. I mean, what we have an option, we can set a key in a string format saying that in place of 0, name and a key, what you can say, amount or price in place of 1, like this. But at this moment, we are not discussing that point. When we enter further, especially we discuss these additional concepts, these additional features of JavaScript, which is in entering into the point of ES6. At the time of ES6, we will discuss the concept of mapping, that is especially which we can say it supports in terms of React.js, how you can do even Angular, how you can do a group of values that you can maintain and maintain and extracting through its keys. Then, so at this moment, we are just going through with the concept of index is 0 only. Remember this point, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on only. Okay, then another question. Here we have 4 values. That's why you have written 4 because of 4 values. Whereas here it is, for example, you are adding something, let it be. You are adding a new value. Then what will be the output here? The output is just up to 1, 2, 3, 4 only. 4 values. What about the total 6 values? Actually, have added 2 things. So, as the array variable may be vary, a number of values may be increasing or decreasing. That is why we can write here array variable name dot a length is a built-in property. A length is a built-in property which is finding the number of values dynamically, how many we have presently. From then, it is just checking that its condition and it is displaying all the values. This is called concept of an array. Maintaining or holding a group of values into that particular into the particular thing, we say it is called an array into a particular variable. Okay, clear? Then now here, to work with the concept of product or to work with the concept of an users, how many number of statements we have written? Approximately 1, that is holding all the values, 2 with conditions referring and displaying or extracting its outputs. That is 3 to 4 lines, okay, 2 to 3 lines at least. Make it something exactly, you can see each line is also a statement. So 1, 2, 3, 4 totally. Let us assume you have done. But now the client is asking us display this concept in different pages. What we will do immediately as we have successfully written the code, we can just write that same code in different pages and it will display successfully the same code I will write in the comment page. I will write in the decision making page. Let us assume these are all the pages, and user is moving from one page to another page, a website format. So, but one thing, once you copied and pasted all the pages as client is asked, later the client is asking us to add one more value. You can say, for example, added one more value. Then, as you have added in one of the page, the same you have to update in all the pages right now. As of now, according to our idea, what we have discussed is, as we are maintaining a group of values, hard code, and that is referring in the output, we wherever that we copied and pasted in all the places, we need to update that particular value or delete or execute, sorry, add a new value. So it is again maintaining a hard code for each and every action of user is doing, or for each and every value updating or adding or new, so deleting from this existing, you have to change in all the places. To overcome this kind of problem, meaning to overcome this kind of problem, what kind of problem? A data that is maintaining hard code and that is repeated for a number of places. It's we need to update in all the places. So to overcome that kind of problem, we now work with the concept of functions. What is a function? A function is a set of reusable statements, meaning there will be a set of statements under one particular block, and that can be and that can be what can say executed for n number of times whenever or wherever it is required. Okay, let me write the concept. The concept is functions. Let me write first. We can say that basic function. Now, let me just recap. I mean, let us do one thing. As we have a requirement to maintain the concept of a particular user. Okay, so I am writing var user and and that equals to name, age, email, and mobile. That is, these are the details that we are maintaining of a particular user. According to our logic, we have to refer all these values. So we know with for I or whatever you want, not only I, and I equals 0 and I less than, as we know now to find out the length dynamically. So array variable name dot length and something like this. So here document dot write the value. Let me write simply user of. What is it? I now. and then array variable name of I, and so we can say of course here we why we not saved it. Here we are displaying a group of values of a particular user. Okay, but now the requirement is, as just now we have discussed, the same concept. Let us assume as client is asking us to use the same concept. Where how sorry, where it will be the situation is, you can do one thing. You can think in that manner. There is a portal, news portal websites. In news portals website, not only news portals, any website, you are maintaining a navigation. For, for example, you are maintaining a navigation. Yes, you can maintain navigation, writing a home, about us, contact us, and all these things are referring in terms of HTML element of anchor element and with its links. Yes, you can maintain now. So you are maintaining a navigation, and the same navigation that you have to use in the further pages also right now. Index page, about us page, contact us page, services page, or a number of pages. So in that case, if you are writing that statements here, as client is asking us to repeat for a number of times, so you are just copying according to our logic so far, what we know. Yes, we can copy. Sorry. Yes, we can copy and paste for a number of times, maybe 10 times or 20 times in all the different 20 pages, I'm saying. Then after successfully done, later client is asking us to change from John to Paul, or 23 to 25, or something else, or adding a new value. So what you have to do in all the places, you need to manually update it. To overcome this kind of problem, we are going to set all the statements of a particular concept at one block. That is called, we can say, function. Okay, now let me tell you what is a function and what is that. We have maintained a loop, but here as we have requirement to maintain a group of statements that should be used whenever or wherever it is, then we are going to use the concept of function. What is a function? A function is a set of reusable statements where a name of function can hold a set of statements can be accessed wherever or whenever it is required. Now, as we have requirement to maintain this set of lines in a proper way under the block, then The concept of function. Okay, we are saying that it is a reusable set of statements. You need to first do one thing. You need to set a name of that function as called function call. You can write function call. For example, I am just writing here display user. What is the meaning? It is correct or wrong? Of course, it is an identifier. As an identifier can be of a variable, an identifier can be of a function, an identifier can be of an object like this. Anything. What is an identifier means? It which is referring to particular concept, which is referring to an array, which is referring to an value, which is referring to, or you can say, object like this. And writing like this is called not maintaining. Writing like this is called camel casing. A group of lowercase and uppercase combination. We say it's called camel casing. So here we are writing when you see opening closing parenthesis, something named with opening closing parentheses is considered as a function call. Irrespective of the technology, whenever you see something named, even we are writing now from the beginning onwards, write with opening closing parentheses as it is built in the JavaScript developers have created functionality. We are using, of course, sorry, we are writing some matter and getting some output, right? But here we are writing our own definitions. So to write that definition, to explain the concept, what we want to do, so we are maintaining our own functions, which is nothing but a user-defined functions. And here display user display user with opening closing parenthesis is a function call that is given a call as soon as we know, JavaScript is coming, JavaScript parser is executing a line by line. When it comes to that particular line, then it is just entering into, it is searching for its definition. That means you have given a name, but where you have defined it, a definition that can be mostly right in the head part itself. All the definitions is nothing but a processing code should be in the very beginning in the head part. Okay, here I'm writing it's a function definition. The name what have you have written that should be defined. To say it is a function, these people, the JavaScript developers, given a keyword function space the name what we have written opening closing parentheses with opening closing curly braces. It is a called block. Here we are going to set that set of statements. Here we are going to write a set of statements. So totally push all the values, all the statements into that. Totally push all the statements into that block. Let us do one thing. Now see that output we are getting. Actually, what happens when a JavaScript parser executes step by step or line by line, and when a JavaScript parser comes to this line, as soon as it see the keyword function, it will jump out of that block. It won't enter into that at that moment. When it comes down and when it see something name is given a call, display user with opening closing parentheses. Then it will search throughout your program where you have written its corresponding definition. Then it will enter into that block and execute that set of statements what we have given. So the functions that are executing based on the function calls, not based on the function definitions directly as you have written in the very beginning. It's not like that it will be executed first from the definition. Simply we can say when there is no concept of giving in a call, how can the definition will be, right? That is what you can say. So to maintain, here we have given a simple function call and it is entering into its definition and displaying. Okay. If you don't want, actually the advantage is maintaining all the statements at one place. Okay. First point. By maintaining all the pages, sorry, by maintaining all the statements at one place, you even can, if you don't want to see the output of that particular function at this moment, but if there is no concept of function, what you have to do, you have to ignore, you have to, what can I say, comment these set of lines right now. But here, with just a single line commenting, then no concept of execution, its definition. So either if you want to make it active, or either if you want to make to sorry, either if you want to make it inactive, that is working or not, require or not, then you can just simply decide by just active, I mean, or uncommenting or commenting. So that is called, we can say, accessing a function through function call. It enter into its definition and executing it's a set of statements. Then, what is the concept of reusability? Let me write in another file. Okay, let me write reusable simply. The concept of reusable is whenever or wherever or whatever, sorry, how many number of times you want to execute previously what you have done. You have copied and pasted all the 4 statements or 10 statements or 20 statements, whatever it may be, irrespective of the concept. You have to copy and paste for a number of times. But here, now you can just copy and paste the name of that function. A single line is better than a number of multiple number of lines of axing right now. I mean, don't bother about the underline. This is for, I mean, this line. This is just for our understanding purpose. Of one concept is up, sorry, one output is completed, second output something like this. So if you observe now, yes, we have repeated the things for a number of times or accessed that a particular concept for a number of times. When it is given a call for each and every time, it's freshly entering into its definition and executing a set of statements and displaying its outputs. Whenever it is given a call, it's thinking that freshly, yes, given a call, it's entering and executing. As it is a front-end languages, there is no concept of maintaining, or there is no concept of catchy storing, or there is no concept of database storing. As it's a client-side or front-end programming languages, for each and every time, instantly it will think, yes, given a call, it will do some action part. This is how you can work with the concept of reusable, a set of statements. Okay, if you have added one more value here, then then added all the places in all the places, right? That is what you can say. Maintaining a data in a particular, I mean, holding or updating or adding a values that is in the particular place and referring to all the places wherever we require. Okay, then okay, we got a clarity how to write a function and definition and function reusability. Then it seems something that a function is just given a call, it is entering and then maintaining the values and doing the process itself, everything in the block itself. The next point is we even can send the values from outside to the function call and then it will just take to the definition and do some process with the given values. So how can you say, let me write here, which is called, we can say function with parameters dot html. I am giving a call to the function. Okay, let me go with this time adding a new value. Mm, Adding these values instead of directly writing in the definition. Let us think that you have passed, you can pass n number of values as a parameters. A function call with parameters. One, two, three, four, a number of things. Then, okay, it will be like this. For timing, let us see what is that output we are getting. If it is an error, okay, that is also we will see. Function with parameters, okay, nothing else. Enter into the definition, sorry, console, even no error. You have given a call with a user if, sorry, you have given a call with parameters, some values we are passing, but at the definition, you are not accessing. So, meaning of this statement is user is a local variable, and from that, as there is no value, nothing output. So, no error at all. So, remove this one. You have to pass these values to the definition and you have to display there. How you can do it? A function call with parameters. When it comes to the point of definition, arguments, how many number of parameters that you have, the same it should match, or as first point, the same it should match, at the same time, orderly it has to match. So you can say name. Name is going to hold the value of John. Age, email, mobile. Then when it comes to the point of displaying or answering or whatever you want, displaying the values, Then, as we have passed four values at parameters at function call, then at definition, we are accessing name is holding John, age is holding 23, email is holding something, mobile is holding something. So these four are considered as an arguments, and these four are, I mean, these are coming from the parameter. These are coming from the parameter, and when it access in the definition, these things we can say arguments, or as we can say local variables, because of in the definition, especially you have declared these four things or a number of things, and that's why it's called local variables. Okay, there is separate concept that is differentiate between the local and global. Now we print here document dot write name, right? We just accessed. Okay, so now what is the usage actually? Why we have written in this manner means, if you observe in the first function call, you have written John 23 and so on so on. Then the same definition, even it is ready to access the different values with the reusability. That is called, we can say, observe. Here I am writing this time something values. Let it be. Okay, something. Okay. So for each and every time that you are able to change that values and it is entering into the same definition which is we have process code with the different values. Right. This is what exactly we can see reusability of function. So and for time being we have done here the concept of passing a parameters hard code at the point of function call. But we even can also save the required things at one variables. I mean, you can say actually here you have passed a group of values manually. What I'm saying is you even can also do one thing. What you can say name, let it be this time Smith, age, email, and pass, sorry, mobile. So you even can also pass the variables as a parameters. Name, age, email. Sorry, what is that? Email. And then, sorry, mobile. But one thing, as you have given a function call with parameters which is holding name, age, email, and mobile, the same thing that you have to maintain here, it's not like that. I mean, whatever that we have given parameters as a variables, the same that should not be here in the definition. You even can also make it something username or age one, the name one, age one, or email one, or anything something different. Finally, it is just I am throwing a ball to you. You are just actually you are just handling, sorry, you are just holding it, and it is called I am throwing I am throwing something from my hands. You are handling with your hands. Of course, just general statement I'm saying. Okay, so here we are passing that value. The value is important here. That's what you can say. Okay, so now what happens here? Overwritten right now because it is the latest one. It is overwrite. Actually, it is displaying John and so on. But here you have written name, age, email, mobile. Why it is displaying Smith 54 and so on? Because of in the script you have written four variables. In the script of opening and closing, you have written four variables and its values. These are called global variables, and these variables are accessed either throughout your program, anywhere, even in outside, even in any of the definitions of functions. So name is directly given a call here. So access the local variables here. Then you can get the first value separately, the second value separately. Okay. So we got a clarity, right? How we can give a call to the function and enter into its definition, first point, and how we can how we can give a call with the parameters and enter into its definition and giving something output. Here you can not only say passing these things. The thing is, for example, var a equals to something, var b equals to something value, and then we are writing, let me write math. It is a user defined only. Whenever we write something, of course, as JavaScript is a case sensitive, you even, for example, there are some built-in functions. There are some built-in functions. If you are using the built-in functions, you have to use exactly how they have defined, exactly how they have given the names. But if you change to something as lowercase to uppercase to lowercase, something else, then it is considering as again a user-defined function only. Okay, here you have given math func. That's we want to do something an expression. In the previous examples, whatever you have given is just throwing to that definition and displaying. Now this time we want to make it something in a small expression that has to be evaluated. So we are passing A and B, and then math num1 num num2 here. Okay, take let us num3 and that equals to num1, meaning you are not only concept of adding. The concept here is what I want to say is you can do some process, not only displaying. That is what I want to say. So sorry, document dot write, then you can write any matter, adding of two numbers or whatever it may be. Right? It's doing some process and giving that output. But where it is giving an output in the function definition itself, it is processing in the function definition itself, it is giving an output. But we are expecting something, an output that should come out. We are expecting something that output that should throw from the function definition to the outside. Meaning, I am throwing a ball to you, you are catching, and you are reverting again with an out. I'm something. So that is what we are expecting is called, we can say, function, what you can say, return statement. How it will be a function with return statement. Okay, let us do one thing. Let it be. Then what we are saying here, we are doing some process and getting some output, final output. Instead of displaying that output in the definition itself, we are using a return statement where a function that is returning a final output. Irrespective of the technology, a return is a statement. It is used to return one output only first point. Second point, once it is returning, where it is returning, from where the function call is given, meaning when first when the JavaScript comes to this line, it is entering from this line, it is entering into its definition now, and the same the output is returning back to its place. So you even ready to accept that value, meaning that value something variable and that equals to. So a function call is giving a call into its definition, doing that process and giving an output that is returning back with the latest output or the final output that you are assigning to the variable. And then you can see document dot write. I'm just writing for timing. See, all of you is okay that tomorrow also, right? Not tomorrow, even day after tomorrow, continuously, same timing.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Where is that function with returns? We are getting something output where we are getting whatever that final output is getting and saving in the definition of a variable that you are returning back and that is assigning to the variable and it is we are displaying in the design or wherever that we require. It is called we can say function with return statement. Then we have another concept function literal or we can say anonymous function. What is that means? Same concept we can use. Hope you are practicing the things what we are discussing daily and getting the concepts what I mean catching the concept what we are discussing because we are continuously discussing with the one of our and that you have to practice. Okay, right? Mm, function literal or we even can say anonymous function. Now, what we want to do, it has to do an anonymous function and not to do, we have to maintain the format of an anonymous. What is that simple statement we can do is observe. Everything is common. At the definition point of time, the name of that function what we have given is acting as a variable. The name of that function is acting as a variable. What is the usage by writing like this? Instead of working in a traditional manner, or you can say a standard or general way of methodology of functions, we are considering even it is a function, we are considering it is as a variable. Why? Means if there is a question comparing between variable and function, which one will be given faster output? Do you say? Obviously, variable. Why? Because a variable is just holding a direct value. But whereas a function, we can't say how much complicated it is, how much of a number of statements we are going to maintain. Right now. So in referring to that manner, in giving something an output in such a manner, it is faster. We are maintaining the concept of function in the format of variable, and that equals to if it is having n number of statements, but it is just treating it as a single value that you are assigned to the function. Okay, so that is what then with that same output, but only thing logic is differing. So this is about functions, and we have advantages, sorry, advantage things. But in JavaScript, how far we are frequently discussing about the concepts of what, how far that JavaScript can do, and then we even next what we can say, working with the events and event handlers with calling events in built-in functions and maintaining a validation, how to write a validations with forms, working with forms and regular expressions, and then exception handling, prototyping object. These are all the things that we have. Of course, tomorrow we'll discuss rest of the things. So far, it's completed that up to the point of functions. With along with these concepts, we are going to discuss further concepts. Tomorrow, we'll discuss form validations and object or not object directly with some other concepts also. Okay, then so Clear to all of you? Things what we have discussed, not only today's, even yesterday's or any other sessions. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. Okay, then. Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow again, same timing. Hmm?
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Then. Thank you and bye.